Financial freedom. For most people, those two words create one picture in their mind. A big house, a luxury car, first-class flights, designer clothes, no boss, no bills, no stress. But that picture is not financial freedom. That is expensive freedom, and expensive freedom can disappear the moment the income stops. The truth is, financial freedom is not about looking rich. It is about having enough control over your money that fear no longer controls your decisions. It is the ability to say no to a job that is destroying your health. It is the ability to handle an emergency without panic. It is the ability to take time off without wondering how you will pay rent next month. It is the ability to make choices because you want to, not because you are desperate. And that kind of freedom starts in the mind long before it appears in a bank account. This is the psychology of wealth. And this is the truth about financial freedom. Meet Daniel. Daniel was 29 years old, living in a nice apartment in a big city. He had a good job. He earned more money than anyone in his family had ever earned. Every month, his salary arrived on time. And every month, it disappeared almost as fast. His rent was expensive. His car payment was expensive. His phone was expensive. His clothes were expensive. His weekends were expensive. Even his coffee was expensive. Daniel did not think he had a money problem. He thought he had an income problem. He believed that if he earned just a little more, everything would become easier. So he worked harder. He stayed late. He accepted extra responsibilities. He chased promotions. And eventually, he got one. His salary increased. For a few weeks, Daniel felt relieved. He paid off a few bills. He bought himself a better watch. He upgraded his apartment. He started eating at better restaurants. He changed his car. And before he knew it, his life was more expensive than before. His income had grown, but his freedom had not. In fact, Daniel felt more trapped. Now he needed his job even more. He could not afford to lose it. He could not afford to take a break. He could not afford to say no. And that is one of the biggest traps in personal finance. People think more money automatically creates more freedom. But if your lifestyle grows every time your income grows, more money can create a bigger prison. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it is one of the quietest ways people stay broke. Not broke in appearance, not broke on social media, but broke in freedom. A person can earn $50,000 a year and have peace. Another person can earn $250,000 a year and feel trapped. The difference is not always income. The difference is often how much of that income they truly own. Because money you earn is not the same as money you keep. And money you keep is not the same as money that works for you. That is where financial freedom begins. Not with a bigger paycheck, but with a gap. The gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap may look small at first. Maybe it is $50 a week. Maybe it is $200 a month. Maybe it is just the money you did not spend on something you wanted but did not need. But that gap is powerful. Because it becomes savings. Savings become security. Security gives you time. And time gives you choices. Most people do not understand how valuable choices are until they have none. Imagine two people lose their jobs on the same day. The first person has no savings. They have bills due in 2 weeks. They have debt. They have rent. They have a car payment. They have no backup plan. They are forced to accept the first job they can find, even if it pays less, treats them badly, or takes them away from their family. The second person has 6 months of expenses saved. They are still worried, but they are not desperate. They can search carefully. They can learn a new skill. They can take interviews. They can make a better decision. Both people lost their jobs. But only one person lost their freedom. That is why an emergency fund is not just money. It is emotional protection. It protects you from panic. It protects you from bad decisions. It protects you from accepting anything just because you have no other option. Financial freedom is not always about quitting your job. Sometimes it is about knowing you could survive if the job disappeared. But there is another side to the psychology of wealth. And it is harder to talk about. Many people do not spend money because they need something. They spend money because they want to feel something. They want to feel successful. They want to feel respected. They want to feel included. They want to feel like they are doing better than before. A new phone can feel like progress. A luxury car can feel like confidence. A bigger house can feel like proof that you made it. But the feeling often lasts only a few days. Then life becomes normal again. The new phone becomes just a phone. The car becomes just a car. The house becomes another bill. and the person starts looking for the next thing that will make them feel successful. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You get something new, you feel excited, you get used to it. Then you need something bigger to feel the same excitement again. That is why many people keep increasing their spending but never feel satisfied. They are chasing a feeling that money cannot permanently provide. Wealthy people understand something important. The goal is not to impress people. The goal is to reduce dependence. Dependence on a paycheck, dependence on debt, dependence on other people's approval, dependence on constant spending to feel happy. The less dependent you are, the freer you become. That is why some truly wealthy people live surprisingly normal lives. They may drive an ordinary car. They may wear simple clothes. They may live below what they can afford, not because they cannot spend more, but because they understand that every expensive habit creates a future obligation. A luxury lifestyle is not just a purchase. It is a monthly responsibility. A bigger house needs bigger furniture. A better car needs higher insurance. A more expensive lifestyle needs more income. And more income often requires more stress, more work, and less time. The rich-looking person may have the expensive lifestyle, but the wealthy person has options. And options are worth more than appearances. Think about this. If you had $10,000 in the bank, but no one knew about it, would you still feel successful? If the answer is no, then maybe the goal is not wealth. Maybe the goal is validation. And validation is one of the most expensive things a person can buy. Because it never feels like enough. Someone will always have a bigger house, a better car, a more expensive vacation, a higher salary, a larger audience, a more impressive lifestyle. If your definition of success depends on being ahead of other people, you will never feel rich. But if your definition of success is peace, security, time, and choice, you can start building wealth at almost any income level. This does not mean money does not matter. Money matters. Money can provide safety. Money can provide education. Money can help your family. Money can give you opportunities. Money can solve many real problems. But money is most powerful when it gives you control, not when it gives you attention. That is the truth about financial freedom. It is not a number that looks impressive online. It is not a specific salary. It is not owning everything you want. It is needing less than you earn, saving the difference, and slowly building assets that can support your life. Assets are things that can grow in value or create income. Savings accounts, investments, a business, a skill that increases your earning power, a home you can truly afford, anything that makes your future stronger instead of making your future more expensive. The goal is to turn your income into assets. Because income can stop, a job can disappear, a company can close, a boss can change, but assets can continue working even when you are not working. That does not happen overnight. It happens through boring decisions. Saving when nobody is watching. Investing instead of upgrading. Paying off debt instead of showing off. Learning instead of spending. Being patient when everyone else is chasing quick money. Financial freedom is often built quietly. No one sees the emergency fund. No one sees the investments. No one sees the debt payments. No one sees the weekends you stayed home. No one sees the things you decided not to buy. But one day, you notice something. You are no longer scared of every bill. You are no longer waiting desperately for payday. You are no longer using debt to survive. You are no longer saying yes to everything because you need the money. You have space, and space changes everything. You can think clearly. You can plan. You can take risks carefully. You can help your family. You can choose work that matters to you. You can build a life that is not controlled by fear. Daniel learned this slowly. After years of chasing promotions and upgrades, he looked at his life and realized something painful. He was earning more than ever. But he had never felt less free. So he made a decision. He did not try to become rich overnight. He started small. He sold the car he could not comfortably afford. He moved into a less expensive apartment. He stopped using credit cards for things he could not pay off. He built a small emergency fund. He began investing a fixed amount every month. At first, it did not feel exciting. His friends were still upgrading their lives. They were traveling more, buying more, posting more, and sometimes Daniel wondered if he was falling behind. But after 1 year, something changed. He had money saved. He had less debt. He had lower monthly expenses. He had fewer financial fears. For the first time, he could imagine leaving his job if he needed to. Not because he hated his work, but because he was no longer trapped by it. That was the moment Daniel understood financial freedom. It was not about having everything. It was about not needing everything. It was not about making the most money. It was about keeping enough money to protect your future. It was not about looking successful. It was about being able to sleep peacefully at night. The psychology of wealth is simple. People who build wealth learn to delay small pleasures for bigger freedom. They stop using money to prove something. They start using money to protect something. Their time, their family, their future, their peace. So the next time you see someone with a luxury car, an expensive watch, or a perfect lifestyle online, remember this. You do not know what is behind the picture. You do not know how much debt they have. You do not know how much stress they carry. You do not know whether they are wealthy, or just expensive. Real financial freedom is quiet. It is the ability to handle problems without panic. It is the ability to walk away from bad opportunities. It is the ability to make decisions without fear. And it begins with one question. Are you spending money to look free, or are you using money to become free?